because we need like different aspects in the world, different positions in the world to be respected. And it's going to remain a dog-eat-dog world to a certain degree, and we don't have another position, and we don't have something else to look at as an example of how to go about something. Therefore, when one mind sparks another mind, that gives another person like, oh, I don't have to do it this limited way, where I got to do this and justify it because this character is showing me a brand new possible way of going about something, and it looks possible. You know what I'm saying? And, that's all the intellectual property that I need to transmute for my goddamn self. But other than that, we always doing something for God. So if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it ain't, it ain't. You know what I'm saying? Expectations or sitting around or getting frustrated or mad and things of that nature ain't the actual issue, ain't the point. It ain't even about that in this motherfucker shit. What it's about is how much you can express yourself regardless of that energy. And if it comes, that's just the confirmation that God can give you. And then you could be the individual that show others how to do it with the right morality in some way, shape, or form. Other than that, you know what I'm saying? We only do missions and walks and paths for motherfucking God. We don't do it for shit else. Not a dime, not a nickel, not a mine, not a person whose skin is fickle. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. You need tough skin. You don't need to be an individual that's fickle and things of that nature, to the point that anytime things get rough, your spirit want to jump out of that mental form that you in because you need to form a safe haven in some way because your ass don't know what the fuck you got going with for your motherfucking life. You don't know if you fucking coming or going. And when we start to talk about $1 million worth of motherfucking game in this goddamn bitch, a lot of this game out here that Neil deGrasse and a lot of these other flunked out ass motherfuckers and shit like that ain't no game that's worth a motherfucking 2 goddamn nickels, but a motherfucker ended up in jail or in hell or in student debt trying to learn because they following fucking Neil deGrasse and what the fuck he think he talking about. And he don't know shit about the cosmos. And ain't an astrologer on the internet who knows shit about the cosmos, about nothing. All they know about is electromagnetic floating shit, and we don't give a fuck about Zeus. So you need to understand that also. It's time to wake spirits up, and spirits is becoming spiritual adults now. And it's time to get out of motherfucking fairy tale la la land. And if motherfuckers don't know how to get out of fairy tale la la land, this is one of the reasons why in the world people feel more comfortable with the familiar when they could just add names and titles and do all this extracurricular shit, ring around scandals and shit in order for them shit to be motherfucking popping. And I'm not saying nothing wrong with that. I might dive into that every now and then, but I have to make sure I'm a representation and a vessel for God in the way how God came to me before I start any fucking path or any fucking starting pole in this motherfucking shit. So we can have some clarity on the separation between what's a fucking dog and what's a fucking poodle and what's a fucking wolf, or who's fucking physical and who's fucking spiritual. And then once that state claim, once we stand corrected in that area, we can all parlay, we can all shoot dice, we can all play pool, we can all gamble, we do all the flunked out ass shit in the world, as long as we doing it in God's way, transmuting that shit in some way, shape, or form, to the point that we have another attribute to look at to make things more possible in this bitch. Other than that, the world is full of bullshit. And can't nobody tell an angel or God nothing different. So, based on this motherfucking transition, right? All of these are forms of missions. All these are forms of contexts to put your shade bird monkey ass if you want to be a vessel for motherfucking God, so you can have some motherfucking intellectual property up in this motherfucker so we can expand. And motherfucking, if you ain't got no real passion or real anger or nothing to push out in the motherfucking world, you ain't on no spiritual path anyway. All that anger is misguided and directed that you put it out. You need to invert it and be more angry while you in a bullshit ass mentality, while you in a bullshit ass circumstance or situation that don't allow your actions to be free as it's supposed to be, how God needs it to be. You know what I'm saying? And you want to always make sure you're doing shit like God. So when you're going through something, it's something. God is nothing. So you want to make sure this is something that you're going through, you treat it like it's nothing. And then the more you put in that energy, regardless of this something looking like an accumulation of sums of bullshit in your motherfucking life, it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. So how you go about it is what God paying attention to. And God don't like ugly. So if you're not going about it in a way that God see fit in some way, shape, or form, don't be somewhere crying because you're not meeting your destination or your goals in a timely fashion in this motherfucking shit. Because it ain't about expectation. It's about how you go about something, regardless of the third dimensional circumstance and how it's participating in front of you at the moment. And then for the motherfucking most part, if you're not allowing that 1 to a third dimension to affect you, and you're staying sturdy, you're staying confirmed, you're standing corrected in however you want to think and feel about yourself, and you're not letting the 1 to a third dimension persuade you to think or feel about yourself in any kind of other ways, God look at that as beauty. God don't like ugly, God like beauty. But God come in ugliness in order for a person to shape up and carve and craft their beauty. And if you don't go through that fire, if you don't go through that turbulence, you will never know how beautiful you are. You will never know how much more powerful you are as a spirit. You will never know how much more you are here to do and things of that nature until you go through the fire, till you go through the drowning, till you go through the air pockets, till you go through the brimstone. Fire, water, air, and earth. All the lowest vibrational octave versions of these things. And when you transmute those things, you're able to transfer what you just transmuted as a form of transformation. And that transmuted energy that you just transferred looks beautiful as hell. And that looked like something that's a transformation. A caterpillar turning into a motherfucking butterfly. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. And anybody who go through that transition, you understand how you crafted, you understand how you shaped, you understand how you carved, you understand how things are supposed to be used, you understand how your energy could be taken advantage of, you understand if you want to be used, how others should be used in a respectable way, because it's teamwork makes the dream work. Damn, thank you so much for the donation, Nina Serralo. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real shit. So therefore, you're not somewhere giving more importance to your time or who you think you are. You're giving more importance to the things you do with your time. And the things you do with your time, if it's in God's favor, it becomes an asset, not you appearing to be a liability. Therefore, when you put yourself into the world, you ain't got to worry about being on some type of demonic energy like, well, a person should respect my time or respect my this, that, and third. You'll be in an energy where you're doing so much shit for God. You're in the right place, right time to meet an individual where y'all can match times. Because both of y'all are doing productive things with y'all time. And if y'all are on the same time, 9 times out of 10, y'all gonna melt right together. And that's how God show up for you. You don't want to force God to show up for you in ways that ain't got nothing to do with any fucking thing but your motherfucking expectations and what you expect from the world. And that's just you having self-entitlement energy that won't really get you nowhere, but in more shadow priest energy.